Now let's try to count the number of functions possible from a set A to set B. Okay, so how many functions can be possible from a set A to set B? If you have to answer this question, you should first know how many elements are there in set A and how many elements are there in set B. Assume that, just an assumption, the number of elements present in set A is m and the number of elements present in set B is n. Now how many will be there? So let's boil down to a small number and just see it with some practical numbers here. Let's say A is here and B is having 2 elements, right? Now how many functions can be possible from A to B? If you look at the element 1 in A, it has got 2 choices. Either you can map it to A or you can map it to B. Therefore, this element is going to have 2 choices. And what about this element? Again 2 choices. It is not like A has taken up one element and B, one has taken up one element and 2 has to use the other. It is not like that. One is having 2 choices. It could either use A or B. And similarly 2 is also having 2 choices. It could either use A or B. Therefore, again 2 choices here. And what about 3? 3 is also having 2 choices. It could either use A or it could either use B, right? Therefore 2 into 2 into 2, which is nothing but 8 functions are possible from a set A to B, in case if A is having 3 and B is having 2 elements. Now let's try to generalize it. So let's see what happens if A is having m elements and B is having n elements. Okay, A is having m, 1 2 3 so on, m elements and B is having n elements. Okay, then what happens here? In this case, what happens is, now each element in A can be mapped to any one of n elements in B. Therefore, this element will get n choices. And similarly, the second element also will get n choices. The third element will also get n choices. Therefore, we get n into n into n into so on m times. These many functions are possible from a set A to set B, where A is having m elements and B is having n elements. Now it is nothing but n power m. So this is the total number of functions possible from a set containing m elements to a set containing n elements. Got it? This is how you should analyze it. Okay, now we have already seen that set is a function is a relation, isn't it? So can we say that is every relation a function? Clearly no. Why? Because we have already seen many exceptions. If a relation is not having the element starting with 3, then it means that the element 3 is left out and it cannot be a function. Therefore, every relation cannot be a function. Okay, so what I mean to say is this. See this? Now I want to find out the total number of relations from A to B which are not functions. So exactly what I am looking at is, if you have, this is the set of all, let us say set of all relations, then where will functions be? Functions are nothing but relations itself, isn't it? Functions will be here. This is set of all functions, right? Now I want to find out the relations which are not functions, which means all this part. This is what I wanted to know. I want to find out this line part. That is what I wanted to know. In order to answer this, you should know how many total number of relations are possible, and then how many total number of functions are possible. Then from the total number of relations, if you subtract total number of functions, you are going to get the total number of relations which are not functions. Got it? So now check this. What I wanted is the total number of relations from A to B. So we already have seen that the total number of relations, how do we get the relations? By cross product, right? So once we take the cross product of A and B, here A and B, the number of ordered pairs in this Cartesian product is going to be mn, isn't it? and we know that the number of relations are nothing but the number of subsets from that Cartesian product. Therefore the number of relations is going to be 2 power mn, right? And we know that the number of functions possible from and this A to B is n power m. Therefore the total number of relations which are not going to be functions is 2 power mn minus n power m. This is the total number of relations that are not going to be a function. Got it? Okay, so this is all about we are talking about two different sets. What if we are talking about the same set, which means if we are talking about the relations which are defined on the same set or the functions which are defined on the same set. In that case, both these two sets will be A itself, and the Cartesian and the number of elements will be same. Let us assume that the number of elements in the set A is n. Okay, and now we are talking about functions or relations from A to A itself. Then how many functions will be possible? N power n. How many relations will be possible? 2 power n square. Then how many relations are possible which are not functions? 2 power n square minus n power n. Okay, this is how we can count the number of functions and number of relations which are not functions. Okay.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So, first reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%, and universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%, but all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177 and IIT Roorkee's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkee, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkee is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkee. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply, and statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities, but whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.